On this week's weekly video fishing forecast, we have the results of the world's greatest bluefish tournament. I have an update on the black sea bass regs with a couple of added tips. We have a preview of the September issue of the magazine and our correspondents check in from around the island, all here at the weekly video fishing forecast.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
Well, last week was the world's greatest bluefish tournament, and Joseph Gallo took first place honors with a 17.27 pound gator at the mouth of the Housatonic River in Connecticut. He fished through tough conditions most of the day and had little action. Finally, Sunday afternoon, the weather settled down and he was on some fish. When he saw the size of the fish, he patiently worked the fish to the boat, made sure the drag was not tied, making sure not to break off the potential winning fish. At this point, they knew they had a shot and ran straight to Fisherman's Paradise in Milford, where the fish is weighed in. The catch will be finalized in the next few days, and they will be $25,000 richer. Well done, Joe. The September issue of the Fisherman magazine is out now. Fisherman's senior editor, Fred Galfar, has a great read of what to need to know about certain plugs. Joseph Casone shows you how to use your sonar to find black sea bass. Then Brendan Richards has the best lures to use on those albies, all in the September issue. News 12 meteorologist Rich Von Owen is working overtime tracking what's left of Hurricane Ida, so I will give you the weekend weather update. Friday and Saturday look to be the best. Sunday will be breezy, and Labor Day is going to be looking good too. But be sure to check out News 12 for your latest weather before you head out on the water. Hey, I'm giving Fred a little break this week on the surf report, so here's what's happening. The long-awaited albies are filtering into the major inlets, typically on the incoming tides. I also got my first report of some of the speedsters in Montauk around the point too. Bluefish can be found in North Shore and Montauk's north side. Top of the tide has been the most productive for them. For bass, the fishing has been a little tough, but the backside of inlets are seeing a fair amount in the early mornings and evenings. The North Shore around Riverhead has also had a decent shot at bass in the evenings on topwater as well. One interesting thing recently has been a numerous number of weakfish roaming the surf. Don't hesitate to try out your local dock or a South Shore bay or bridge for a shot at them. Now let's check in with Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim?
Thanks, Matt. Well, greetings, everybody. Another report from out here in Montauk. Pretty much a good week. Things are really starting to kick in for the fall. Any of you light tackle and fly fishing anglers, as you know, you probably heard the false albacore have showed up. They're kind of moving in waves, definitely getting some nice shots at them, but I wouldn't say it's like the full fall banter false albacore run that you would expect, but it's a really good sign since they're in here for 2 weeks earlier. Other than that, all the local guys are still putting some nice bass on the boat. Paulie Bruno's been out. He's been putting nice limits of slots on. Also have a couple pictures of him offshore. Had a good mahi trip. The tuna bite's still very consistent. I have a report from Little Stephen Forsberg. They pretty much almost limited out on their yellowfins for their trip. They also had a bunch of really big mahi-mahi. They caught a white marlin, and they've been seeing some really good fishing going on. So things have kicked back in after that storm. Dan on the Double D, he sent me in a nice report. They've been well south of Block and farther to the east. They've been cod fishing. He had a good trip with some nice keeper cod, and that's a really good sign for this time of year for these guys to be picking away on the codfish. As I mentioned before, we're doing our Castoberfest. This is the Sage Rod on-lawn demo event at the Montauk Lake Club on October 3rd. I'll be posting a flyer here. We're going to be raffling off a full Sage Rod setup. We also have other raffle prizes from Grundens, Van Stahl. Craig Cantelmo from Van Stahl will be there. We're really trying to push this. This is a good event. Free barbecue, free beer from Montauk Brewing. All right, everybody, back to you, Matt. Have a good weekend. The weather's looking good after this rain, and enjoy your weekend.
Hey, just a reminder, guys, it's September 1st in New York State, and that means that black sea bass extended to 7 fish per person. So one of my favorite ways to catch black sea bass would be using little jigs. This is an epoxy jig right here. We're using light tackle rods, 10-pound test braid. Got 30-pound leader on here. We're dropping right down to the bottom, just like this. I'll show you guys a quick technique on how I'm catching the sea bass. So I'm using high vis line to get down to the bottom a lot easier. So you watch till your line bows out, flip it over. Just a quick jigging motion, nothing really too crazy. Oh, see, I'm already gonna hit. See? Oh, lost that one, but that's pretty much the motion you want to use for catching these fish. Again, I went up to 7 fish per person. Like I said, quick jigging motion, really straightforward, really simple. You could use bait too, but we have a lot more fun doing this, so this is what we're doing today. Oh, I'm trying to get one for you guys right here. There we go. It's a keeper too. And there you go. That's how you catch black sea bass. From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean. Mike?
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. Pretty crazy. It's already September, so and Labor Day weekend, but here it is, and full run isn't too far off. The albies are in. They're not really thick. They're not really predictable. They're not really predictable when they are in pretty thick, but there have been some catches in Shinnecock Inlet the last week or so, as well as I should say, in the ocean just east of the inlet. But you know, see the splashes, see the birds, go for them. Hope you get that cast in there. Hopefully they'll stick around for a while and, you know, bring us all that really exciting fishing that, you know, we're all kind of after. There's still some Spanish mac around. Still a couple of visitors in town. Crazy small amberjack caught on the fly by Brewster Minden. So nice catch there on those, and really cool to see. Heard of a couple of guys that were diving by Ponquag Bridge. Chris Paparo, Fish Guy Photos, saw a lionfish, which is definitely an odd one to see around here. Fluke bite continues to be pretty good. It's kind of like quality over quantity. Hampton Lady had a nice one, and the rack made it nailed to the dock. That was on their full day trip yesterday. Buddy of mine, Chef Nader Garvin, he had gotten a probably like a 9 to 10 pounder on light tackle that he lost right at the boat, made up for it with a couple of really nice sea bass last night on the Hampton Lady happy hour trip. My son and I went as well. We came back with a couple of nice fillets that got to the grill. That limit goes up to 7 a person from 3 as of the 1st. So when this comes out, that'll be the case for this weekend as well. So nice chance to you know, get some fillets in the cooler on a very sustainable species in our area. Bass bite back in the marsh has still been pretty good at sunset, even though, you know, last week had a pretty low tide at sunset, so I didn't really get into them, but have heard of some other people, you know, in that top of the high tide, beginning of outgoing, have gotten them on just this crazy abundance of small peanut bunker and other small baits right around the marshy edge. Soon enough, they'll be pretty thick in the ocean. The mahi bite seems to be a little bit better than the tuna bite on the close-in offshore spots like the Ranger Wreck, Quambra, and those usual kind of spots. So we'll see. I'm sure a lot of people will head out for tuna this weekend. So good luck if you're doing that. Until then, we got a lot of great fishing ahead of us, not just this weekend, but in the couple of months to come. So any questions, comments, whatnot, leave a comment below. Reach out on social media. Love to help you out with point you in the right direction or hear a great fish story. So until next week, enjoy the weekend. Get out there, catch them up. Back to you, Matt.
Kirk Fay from Mauritius has our offshore report.
On Friday, we went out of Mauritius Inlet this time, and we headed towards the flats around the dip area. When we hit about 270 feet of water, we noticed there were a few dolphin off to the east a little bit, so we went over to take a look. My buddy Chris threw out a popper, so did I, and sure enough, he came tight on the first cast. We ended up boating a nice 50-pound yellow to start our day. After that, the dolphins had disappeared, so I made the decision to drop the spread in. So me, Chris, and Gina were trolling for another hour without any action, and then all of a sudden we came across a huge pot of dolphin. And right next to the boat, one of them jumped out of the water, and I noticed there was a two-tone, and most of the times two-tones are associated with yellowfin. So I started screaming, "Get your belts on, get your belts on, we're going to come tight." And sure enough, before they even got their belts on, we were tight on 4 different rods. For a crew of 3, we actually landed 3 out of the 4. I was pretty happy with that. After that, we spent the day pot hopping. Great year for mahi, fantastic year for mahi. But if you could find floating debris, that's probably where your bigger mahi are going to come from. So always keep an eye out for that. Hoping to get back out there Saturday, and I'll keep you posted. Back to you, Matt. Thanks.
Now let's get an update on the Dreamboat contest with Tim C. Smith.
The Dreamboat competition drama continues as John Mathew of Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey weighs in a monster mahi-mahi at Chestnut Neck Boatyard. Say that 3 times fast. At 30.2 pounds, this mahi is in the number 1 spot, pushing Henry Piacentino out of first and into second place position with his 22-pound mahi. Henry still has the number 1 position in the competition overall, but he actually drops 1 point this week. In other news, Jerry Zordan weighed in the 7.46 tog at Quaney Bait and Tackle in Rhode Island, seating him at second place for tog. The race is on as we enter the fall season, and some of the best fishing is yet to come. The Dreamboat Fishing Challenge is the fisherman subscriber-only season-long multi-species fishing competition with a chance to win a new Steiger Craft Center console powered by Yamaha, along with many other great prizes. Subscribe now to the Fisherman Magazine to be part of the action.
With our fly-in freshwater report, we have Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, here we are, out fishing again, out camping, and I'm going to pass it off to another reporter.
Hi, Matt. We're out here at Heckscher Park camping with our friends Sue and Howie, and we've been catching lots of snappers using a light tackle, but hopefully Paul will take us out again and we'll use our fly rods next time. So for the fly rod report, here's Paul.
Once again, there is plenty of fish out to be. You have to be out there looking for it. And Captain Brian, and he's fishing over at Deb's and Deb's Inlet, and he's having bay blues, and it's been really, really terrific out there. He says almost every tide, as long as the water's moving, he's having fish. There again, you got to be there, you know. As far as Jones Inlet, same thing. Moving water, you will find fish. The snappers are getting bigger, so the bluefish are getting back in. It's been really good. Out in Montauk, terrific. As far as the freshwater scene goes, upstate with this rain, they're blown out again. But, oh, my wife just caught another one. She lost it. All right. But we're out here having a great time. As far as the spring creeks go on Long Island, fishing well, high water means fish terrestrials. So until next week, hopefully we're not going to get too blown out this week, but hopefully tight lines, everybody.
Hey, check this out. Reed was plugging in the state boat channel when this keeper fluke ambushed his lure. Believe it or not, this is more of a common thing than you would think. From the Fire Island area in Great South Bay, let's check in with Captain Al Lorenzetti.
Hey Matt, Fire Island report. Crazy report. Plugging bluefish and a 75-pound brown shark ate the plug in 3 feet of water in a back bay, and there was another one with it. So if you want the whole story, you can check out skimmeroutdoors.com for the entire act. Down here at Trophy Tackle, and they're real busy. You can see a bunch of reels out here. The respooling, tuna fish bite is great. Greg Gargiulo on Patty Ann Charters had a great day with a lot of yellowfin tuna. I've been fishing inshore, and it's kind of tough fishing. I did have a nice fluke, 10 pounds on Monday from offshore, you know, on some structure. And inshore, it's mostly shorts, occasional keeper, but kind of tough fishing. But weakfish bite happening very early in the morning. First light for maybe an hour in the usual places, so that's worth looking at. And bluefish in the back bay, plenty of snappers, plenty of crabs around. So there's a lot of different things to do. We just need some good weather. Friday and Saturday look good coming up. So that's about it, Matt. Take care. Talk to you next week.
From Northport, we have Mark McGowan from Cattle Harbor Bait and Tackle.
Hey everybody, it's great to see you. I want to thank everyone who got involved with the WICC tournament. It was a lot of fun for those people. It was tough fishing. You know, sometimes it's high seas, but when they throw dates at you, you fish, and that's just the way it goes. Seemed like a lot of those fish were off once again towards the Connecticut side. So the biggest that we had in the shop was 10, but that's fantastic. Congratulations. There's always like some winners over here with the port prize and with our fun Calcutta. So it's a great thing to be involved with. As far as fishing goes, we're right now, everything is like, it's very rainy. I'm talking to you right now. We've got Hurricane Ida. The remnants are coming through. It's adding a lot of water in the mix. But I got to say that there's so much bait. The real issue is not where the fish are. It's like moving all over because we have literally acres and acres. Did I say acres and acres? Because I meant acres and acres and acres and even more acres of peanut bunker. It's insane. I'm waiting for these false albacore. The bonita showed up last week, you know, and they're like sporadic, but the fish are dialed on these peanuts. This is that time of the year where out of nowhere you'll like hammer a North Shore like 50-pound bass that's racing after these 4-pound bluefish that are all over the peanut bunker. This is that great time you see weakfish. There's been some like stupid size fluke that come up and they're inside the harbor in some spots. They're on the peanuts. There's peanuts everywhere, and that's great. I mean, there's more peanuts than Jimmy Carter had, you know, everywhere. Listen, get out there, have fun, be prepared. That means like heavier leaders, you know, watch your wire line, watch your circle hooks. There's a lot of play involved right now. The fall is so primed to go, like kaboom. I'm really, really psyched out. Phil spent the whole day yesterday with our good friend Captain Dave, and they were just on the fish, working the fly, light tackle gear. That's what it's all about. You see me, I'm so excited. You know why? Because I'm going to be fishing more. It's the fall. It's getting cooler out. It's just so cool. I love hearing these stories, having customers, you all come in and send pictures. It's just wonderful. Keep them coming. We love them. I love to see you. And until next week, I bid you peace and always tight lines.
Dave Anderson of the New England Fisherman has an update on the Coastal Kayak Clash. Dave?
This week in the Coastal Kayak Clash, hardtail season came in with a vengeance and shook up the leaderboard. Chris Neves is leading the category with his 26 3/4 incher, but the one that held the most weight was Justin Oster's 24 1/4 incher that vaulted him to the top of the totem pole, even with Bob Wagner's category-leading 30-inch weakfish. Bob Wagner now holds sole possession of second place with 7 points, and Justin Oster stands alone at the top with 8. A little note on measuring hardtails. Please allow the tail to fall naturally on your ruler. We have had to make a few adjustments this week because anglers were bending the tail to give a closer look at the number, but this also augmented their score, which we had to adjust after the fact. We can't be adjusting every hardtail score, so after this weekend, bent tails will automatically be disqualified. Hardtail species are defined as false albacore or bonito, and they are the fish of the month for September, so set your mind to melting those drag washers in your quest to win Fish of the Month. And with hardtails now on the menu and blackfish starting to chew, this thing should get interesting in a hurry. Good luck.
Joey Leggio will be back next week, but he let me know there is still some big fluke to the west near the Tin Can grounds, like this 8.25 pounder that his son Frankie battled while using a Sproul bucktail tip with a green gulp grub. We will see you next week, Joey, and good stuff, Frankie. Let's check in with Chris Ludwig. Chris.
Hey, thanks, Matt. What's going on, guys? So this last week, the fishing was pretty good and consistent. I'm going to start with my buddy Phil LaPierre, who got a beautiful bluefin tuna on a live bunker, fishing the edges of pods. He's about 50 feet of water right outside of Deb's Inlet and fishing a 100-pound fluorocarbon. Congratulations, bud. You're the king of the marina right now. Moving forward, as far as myself, my buddy Bobby and I were out fishing on local beaches, and we did capitalize on a couple sand tigers. Unfortunately, they're bycatch again. They were not the target species. But the weather was a little bit nasty. It was hard to hold baits for quite a few days this week. I mean, I don't know what it was with the current, perhaps the storm coming, something with the moon, but we had up to like 25 ounces out there, which is abnormal. But unfortunately, I don't have any of this footage because my GoPro snapped off my chest when the kayak flipped one of the times. Other than that, I hope everyone's been good. I'll see you all out there, and take care.
Remember to like our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we post a new video on YouTube. And of course, to be a subscriber to the Fisherman Magazine, to be part of the Dreamboat Contest and Coastal Kayak Clash. Check out this video's description on YouTube for all the related links and index with specific reports. Please support our correspondents by visiting their websites and social media pages. See you right here next week at thefisherman.com.
Steigercraft boats, built by people who fish our waters. Serious anglers choose Steigercraft for their 40 years of boat building experience right here in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Visit steigercraft.com for a dealer near you.